Hello everyone, Andrew here from 369 Game Design. In the last episode of my devlog, we looked at the character controller and we managed to get him running down the track, and he was quite jerky. So now I'm going to showcase what I've done recently to try get that smoothed out a bit. So as you can see, now he can actually move across the track, the camera doesn't jerk around as much as he did previously, and the slide and the jump animations work pretty well. So how did I get this working? So previously when I was working with Unity, in order to get a camera to follow the player while it was running down a track or doing something else, you needed a complicated camera follow script, which I would have to Google a lot to actually find. And it's got the how far it is, speed that it's following, the offset from behind the character, and it's doing a whole lot of raycasting hits and lerping, etc. And honestly, that is far too complicated for me to understand. Thankfully, Unity introduced the Cinemachine, which is now a much more viable method of actually utilizing virtual cameras within the environment. And to use that now as a follow camera for my character is the most logical. So the first thing I had to do was actually go to the package manager, find Cinemachine, and import it into the system, and then create virtual cameras, which I've got here. My player follow camera, which is the camera that's going to be following, and a player standing camera, which is just off to the side on watching the characters, that he can actually see what's happening next to him as part of the animation when I start going through. In the main camera, it created a cinema brain, which is the controller for the actual Cinemachine, which controls how everything works. And the only scripts that I've introduced is I've created this Cinemachine into game object, and I've attached a camera switch to it. And if we open that up in our editor, so in the script I've got the camera switcher script, and all it does is when the game starts in the wake, it set my standing camera priority to be 1 to make it the highest priority, and my follow camera priority to be 0, so it's got a lesser priority. So the camera that's active will be the one with the highest priority, in this case standing camera priority. And I created a basic function to say switch the camera, which I call from my player controller script. So in the player controller script, PlayerMotor, all I've done is where I've set the get key down to be yes to start, I've said switch the priority, and all that does is changing the priority from the standing camera to be the follow camera. And when you actually go into the game and actually play, you'll see that the camera is facing the side of the player, and you can see things that are happening in the background. And when you press S to start running, it then blends nicely because of the Cinemachine brain into the running animation, so we can actually start running the game. So it gives a nice sense to the actual start of the game. My feelings, I can actually see what's happening in the background, maybe some action. For example, in some way surface with the character spraying on the subway and then the guard runs up and chases him. A similar aspect. That's what I've accomplished with the camera at the moment. I believe it looks pretty good to me, and I'll be continuing in the next episode with giving him some obstacles that he can actually start jumping over.